coming in with a hat trick today, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm about to hit you with another banger, and I'm about to be talking about periods, the menstrual cycle, my hypothesis about them as far as what actually is going on, kind of in a scientific sense, but then or more so in a spiritual sense, because I'm a woman, you know what I'm saying? I've been having my menstrual cycle, function like since I was like 9 years old. So it's been a long time. And being the scientist that I am my favorite person to experiment on, because I can actually evaluate what I'm actually thinking, what I'm actually feeling, as opposed to trusting in the things of others who are either not very, self-aware or don't want to admit things and all of that. I have a lot of theories because there's a lot of consistencies in the experiences of both men and women when it comes to women having a period. We're going to specifically talk about that part of the cycle today. What I want to just first of all say is it is a roller coaster every month as a woman, every single week. And I would just like to say to the gentlemen out there that I think you guys could be a little bit more understanding and gentle with us sometimes about this stuff, because we are not doing it on purpose. Like as somebody who, my logical mind overrides my feelings a lot of the time. A lot of the time I can really feel, like I really do feel the surging around of these hormones, and just how exhausting it actually is. And also how just things they're just changing all the time. And so we're not making a big deal. We're not, acting up, I promise you. And I've been making observations on myself, and we are going to look what the Bible says, because I know that one big issue that a lot of people have when it comes to God, and this is the fact that he describes this as a period of you being considered unclean, right? Now, I actually think there is such deep wisdom in this whole thing. And it all comes from my experience of myself as a woman. Because a lot of people say that when women are on their period, that we just are emotional and hormonal, and we have these feelings that don't come from anywhere. That is what I fundamentally disagree with. Now, what we have to understand from my perspective is that whenever we're trying to find the solution of something, there are many variables. And a couple of the variables that the world is not going to consider that I consider are A, spiritual activities and seeds that exist inside of us, right? And B, self-awareness. Because if you are experiencing, and this is even when you're not on a period, this could be a man or a woman, you might one day feel like, you know what, I'm just really angry for no reason. People say that sometimes they just get angry for no reason. You're saying no reason because you can't perceive what the reason is. There's a possibility that there is a reason you're not willing to accept. And there's a possibility that there is something going on inside of you that you are responding to, right? Either psychologically, physically, or spiritually, that you're responding to, that you're unaware is the source. And of course, the devil being himself, the snake in the garden, his absolute perfect trick is to hide. And so I've realized during my time, because obviously I try to address all the spiritual stuff, all the emotional stuff. I'm doing the work. I'm hardcore doing the work on the inside. I'm not denying myself. I'm trying to address things when I realize something ugly about myself. And this is when I realized the power of actually having a period. Because what I noticed is in the days leading up to when the emotions are the most intense, right? And you're just upset for no reason, you're whatever, no reason. I've realized that it's not that it's just whatever random emotion. It's always an amplification of however I'm actually feeling at the time. That's what it is. So, and I believe that the Lord has done this on purpose. So for example, if I'm already in a season where I'm angry about something, the reason why I'll feel more angry on the day of my period, and it'll be more like crazy than on a normal day where I can kind of tame it more, probably subconsciously, right? I'll just be really angry for no reason. But I'm realizing now that it changes, because then when I'm like in a really happy season, like for example, right now, right? Coming into the process, and I'm thinking, I'm not on cloud of million. I'm like, why am I on such cloud of million? Because whatever is inside of me is being amplified. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I realized that what if, and this is where my hypothesis comes into it, what if God's intention was actually to allow this period for us as women to do some emotional, psychological cleanup? Because we're supposed to be the feelers. We're supposed to feel, and we're supposed to listen to me. You can tell I've just been off in the clouds of the Lord, and boy, do I love it. Yeah, we're the ones who feel. We're the ones who care for people, and when we ourselves are not well internally, this is why the self-care movement is so important. Self-love for us as ladies is important, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, but also when you pour from a dirty cup, the dirt is going to get to everybody. So, and that's the thing, I realized one thing that I've observed and I've both seen and experienced is that as women, one power that we have is we can completely change the atmosphere, like by ourselves, like just by being whatever we are. Like if we're a tyrant as a woman, if we're a really deeply evil, witchy woman, it will completely, entirely just like change the entirety of the vibe, like especially in a home and in like a community. And I'll give you guys some like visual descriptions of what I mean. Like if we're like women in the home, if we're like bitter, angry, I don't know, just all these ugly emotions, right? Types of women, selfish. I envision it in a spiritual sense. It's like having the Kraken. Obviously, I'm using the Kraken for a reason, because the sea creatures, spiritual, whatever. But it's like having like an octopus, like Ursula, just like sitting on your house, and just like her tentacles just oozing out every piece of negativity, and everybody's just uncomfortable and they don't know why, and everybody's just on edge and they don't know why. Versus if you are, shining the light of the Lord through yourself as a woman, it's like looking into a lighthouse. It's like when you see a lighthouse and you can see the light just shining brightly out of the building, and everybody just doesn't know why it's so good there, but it's just nice. It's just nice to just even sit in the presence of people like that. You know what I'm saying? When we go through our period, like this is our time to figure out what needs figuring out, because life is lifing and things are happening. We're going through stuff. We're going through the motions. We're going around people. And this is why I even say to you guys that healing and deliverance is an ongoing life process, just like I believe learning is. These are things you do ongoing in life, and you continue to do them as you go, because life is still life and we still live on this planet. We're still imperfect people. So yes, we are going to get recontaminated by stuff, and we're going to need to then wash ourselves again. In the same way that you go in the shower again, you don't feel bad about realizing that you're dirty. You just go and take a shower or take a bath, whatever you want to do, right? This is the same thing. So when people are getting upset about this uncleanliness thing, I think people miss the point completely of what God is saying. God is saying, as a woman, like the kind of energy that you give off is going to affect people significantly, because that's the power that I gave you as a woman, because that's the power of like being a woman, right? The influence. So you have a special period of time that you need to go and take some time. I'm actually fundamentally going to say this, and I've been thinking this for a while, that I don't think women should work on our periods. I don't think we should have to work. I think we should have that time off. Not saying off of all responsibilities, but I don't think we should have to work, because I think it's actually important to be an active participator in that process of because that's what I've started to do now. Like now that when I started to hypothesize this, I started to pay attention every single time my period comes. I'm evaluating it all. I'm like, okay, how was I feeling? And I've had it all. Like this time I'm saying I'm happy, I'm on cloud million, like I'm ill. It's like so many things are irritating me right now, like just in my body, but I'm like on cloud million, and you could not, my cheeks hurt from smiling. I'm so jovial, like the happiest that can be. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I'm working on my birthday today because the kids have exams. I just want to see them happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to see them happy. And it's like, you would think, you'd think you would take time off. Well, I don't actually want to take time off, because I actually want to see the kids happy. Anyway, and then there'll be other times where I'm like, afterwards, I'll be like, who the hell was that? Like, I'll be angry and thinking crazy thoughts. And I'm like, okay, because I get it. I believe God in our time of uncleanliness almost like turns the heat up on whatever's inside of us so that we can like address it and we can deal with it. Because that's what I find myself doing. It's always around the time of my period that I find myself praying, Lord, deliver me deliver me from a spirit of this, a spirit of that. Lord, deliver me from a spirit of pride. Deliver me from a spirit of anger. Deliver me from a spirit of bitterness. Deliver me from a spirit of negativity. Deliver me from a spirit, whatever spirit that I am noticing. I also noticed that God will show me in my dreams around that time as well. So always again, and recently God did it again. I had a dream, and in the dream, God just showed me how I was, like some of the ways I was being. And I was like, when I woke up from the dream, I was so horrified at what I saw from myself. I immediately started praying like about myself. And I was just like, Lord, deliver me from this. And I rebuked this and started playing deliverance and healing over myself. It is so important as a woman, I believe, this time that we have called our period. And just the fact that we have it and the men don't. And why do we have it and men don't? You know what I'm saying? Why is it that God hurt Eve in the womb, and with the men they were hurt in the area of providing and provision, right? The reason he hit us there, he hit us in our place of influence and in something that we shouldn't use, in something that we shouldn't take advantage of. Our bodies as women, we're not supposed to take our body. Listen, yesterday when I was recording this video talking about, isn't it so funny when you beat men at stuff? I was doing it on purpose because I was like, this is going to be like one of the last days I'm going to get to enjoy like making something like this before the incoming days of hell, of bloating, of back pain, of swelling, of headaches, of sleepless nights because I wake up every 2 hours, paranoid, of just every single thing. Now, obviously, I don't have period pains at all anymore, which like, I prayed that away. So I believe in like the Lord and supernatural things. I was put on all birth control. You guys know the story. I was put on birth control at 16 because of period pains. Also, I've been off birth control for years. So I feel like my like intuition with my in syncness with my body, particularly with my womb, is at a different level because it's just operating naturally and it has done. So when I'm doing all this research, it's different because I can sense every little like thing. Like it's just insane. Like it's just so cool actually. And so yeah, prayed away my period pain. I was prescribed flipping birth control at 16. So many women, by the way, coming out and talking about how that was problematic, very problematic. Then I was also prescribed some other medication. I was on all these medications. I couldn't sleep. I would wake up with cold sweats in the morning. The painkillers wouldn't be enough. And here I am. All I've done is pray to the Lord and I don't even have period pains. And in fact, it used to be that he would let me pray first. And then after like a few minutes, about 15 minutes or so, they would go away. Now it's like they just don't come. They just don't even happen. They'll happen like a little bit, like just so that it's like enough. And I actually said to the Lord, like, let me have enough, a little bit of pain that I can remember that it's happening because I need to remember that it's happening. Yeah, crazy. So just over here again, once again, thriving, once again, winning. Welcome to the winning team. Lovely to have you. Please join. All you have to do is receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you can be a part of the team because it's a great time over here. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful time. Why does God do that? Our wombs are there, like these things, and he hits us with the pain because it's like, don't mess about, bro, with the powers and the things I gave you. When I made this video talk about the men this, I was like, I'm about to go through my monthly week of humbling. So let me just enjoy myself. Let me just enjoy myself right now because I'm about to go through my week of humbling where, you know, and it's good for us as ladies because I believe it helps to keep us in check. I know that sounds horrible. Women don't like it. I don't mean in check as far as the men. I mean in check as far as ourselves. Because when we are people who are feelers and we have emotions and stuff like that, the thing about feelings, and this is why it's been really hard for me to do this feelings thing, but then I've just been feeling for like the last couple of weeks. It is a lot of fun. I can see how it's very easy to just go off the rails. Yeah. It's not good for us even. Like for me, having the Bible, like this is so good for me because the Bible really helps me to not just take myself and get distracted by some shiny fruit that looks good to eat and whatever it says about Eve. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happens with us as ladies. We fantasize. We fantasize a bit too much sometimes. We really do. And it's like, we fantasize so much to the point that sometimes we are running ourselves into our own destruction. Like, and this is why we do stupid things. This is why I'm saying that we have to, it's not like, look, part of it is about also us being who we need to be for the people that are around us, right? As well. But it's also, you, as a protective mechanism for yourself, you want to have that time of uncleanliness to clean up so that you're not falling victim to the different things that are happening. And I'll give you guys examples of things that like women do. They'll be like, oh, I'm so confused. Like, I was interested in this guy and then he did this and then he did that and then he did this and then he did that. He said he didn't want to be with me and he said he didn't want to be with that. But because he was doing this and he was treating me like his girlfriend, he said he doesn't want a girlfriend, but he was like, that's illogical thinking. He said what he said, but it's a woman thing. It's the fantasy of it. It's the you thinking about how I was watching this Taylor Swift video and I finally got why the girls are so obsessed with Taylor Swift. I got it. And interestingly enough, I had a dream about Taylor Swift in this 2 weeks off. So it's all just funny how this stuff works itself out. It's as if I'm working in perfect timing for my life because it's as if my father is God. And so I noticed there's this one song that all the girlies love. Obviously, Taylor Swift's whole spiel, you know, her whole niche is the breakup songs, right? So even now, whether the Swifties are going to admit it or not, they're loving the her and Travis, and it's all Taylor and Travis. Oh my gosh, Taylor and Travis responded at Coachella. Also, what the freaking hell was Jeff Bezos doing at Coachella? What the freaking hell was Jeff Bezos doing at Coachella? Oh my goodness, okay. Anyway. Oh gosh. But like, you know, it's the falling in love and the fantasy of falling in love and then the breakup and the can't get up and can't even put on the makeup and just want to give up because, you know, that's the whole thing with her. It's like the thing that we do as women. And that's why she's so good at what she does. That's why she's another one of the wicked witches of the West. Ladies and gentlemen. So you're telling me this thing wasn't charging the whole time? Hold on 1 second. So yeah, one of the wicked witches, you know, like how Beyonce does the thing of like, I don't need a man. And so if you're like into as a woman, if you want to pick your witch, yeah, this is what we do. We pick our witches. If you want to do that, I don't want to be a man. I don't need a man. I'm independent. Girls run the world. Whatever. Then you pick Beyonce. If you're like in your lover girl era, if you're in your independent woman boss girl era, it's Beyonce. If you're in your lover girl era, it's Taylor Swift, because you're either in love, like, and just like, oh my gosh, everything is just so winning, or you're like torn apart, and how could he do this? And like, you didn't have to do this, and like there's this phrase that apparently Taylor Swift says, and it makes me laugh because it's like a classic type of thing that us the girlies would love. It's like, if you don't want to be called a bad guy, don't do bad things. And it's just like, that's so the girlies. That's just so something we would say and do. So I love it, you know, I love it. And yeah, so this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We get caught up in these fantasies, all these fantasies. We grow up watching all these like Disney princesses, and I was never into it. I've never been into fantasy, you know. Like, I've never been into fantasy and something that isn't real. Like, when we were in school, I remember I was like 8, 9. No, I was like even 8. Because it was very, very early in school. And we were like, okay, guys, we're going to be reading about myths and fables. And I was like, I don't want to read about something that's not real, that's not factual. Like, this is a waste of my time. I'm like, I'm struggling to remember the things that I want to remember about things that are factual. And you want to talk to me about things that aren't even true. So what's the purpose in that taking up real estate in my brain? This is exactly what I was thinking, by the way, guys, at like 7 years old. It's crazy. Now, I found the only time I do fantasize is with the Lord, because, you know, he's God. So that's where, you know, and of course, I'm always like, God, this is what I would love. And this is what would be amazing. But your will, your way. But I do fantasize with the Lord because I'm like, Lord, this is what I would like. Can you imagine if it was this and that? Like, I always do that with God, you know. But it's important that we have to dial it back sometimes. You know, it's a good thing. It makes us great with children as well because we can jump into their world with them. I love jumping into the world with kids. Like last year, there was some time I was working with these kids. I was thinking, this is literally why I love children more than adults. And basically, they didn't have very many of these toys, but they had these like doctor's kit set with all the little different doctor's tools, stethoscope and whatever. So we ran a whole animal like hospital. Now I was obviously only a nurse because they were all three like boys, and obviously they're the surgeons, right? A 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Cool. And they were the surgeons. I was just the nurse, and I had to bring all the patients, which was all the soft toys, and also Spider-Man, and also Peppa Pig's dad, and all these patients coming in for these surgeries. And like, it's just incredible how like children, you can just step into their world and then they just like imagining stuff, and like, I love it. That's why I prefer to be around kids, because kids, they're just happy and they're imaginative. Adults are like, I gotta take myself too seriously because I'm a grown man now. Like, I can't be doing what I was doing when I was a young man, and I got a wife, and I got kids, and I got a job, and like, I can't even laugh anymore, and I have to take myself so damn seriously because I got chest hair now. Like, I got chest hair and I got a beard, you know. So and I got the dad stance going on, you know. I'm a dad now. Like, I gotta take myself too seriously. And I mean, I kind of love it because it makes me laugh actually quite a lot, especially the fact that the dad stance is so accurate. Oh my gosh. But yeah, don't take themselves too seriously. So I do think again, it's us as women who help to keep things fun. You know, that's why we're the ones who, but we have to keep it in check. That's the thing. We have to draw the line somewhere, because if we don't, very quickly, spirituality, and like emotions, when not rooted in the right area, can quickly turn to something very dark. That's why the Holy Spirit is in agreement with the Bible, because spirituality without being rooted in the Bible turns to witchcraft. That's where we find Jezebel. That's why I say women are angels or witches. Women are angels or witches, right? We're angels or witches in this life. There's no middle ground, because when we get into it and when we put our energy into whatever we're putting our energy into, it's either going to turn out that you realize that, oh my gosh, this woman is like an angel, or you realize, oh my gosh, this woman is like a witch. And I can tell you guys this because I know this from my own experience. I know this from my own experience as a woman and being a woman. And you know what? I remember there was the time when I was battling with like, which side am I going to choose? And that like was knocking at my door so hard, because I just been through a whole damn lot in my life. I just got to the point where I was like, and then just hit the final straw, it hit of like, I'm going to just become like, and the devil's like, come on, we can terrorize them. He's like, should we come along? We can terrorize the men if you want to. I imagine this is what he was saying to Jezebel. We could terrorize the guys if you want to. Like, because even Ahab and Jezebel, what's the situation with them? Ahab was supposed to be a king of God. He's supposed to be a king of the Most High God. And he turned out to be a weak man who was now a slave to the same old flipping gods that Jezebel brought with her. I'm not going to check who the gods are. Should I check who the gods are? I'll see if I can check who the god is. Because I'm wondering if it's any of the gods that I've heard these celebrities are worshipping. So, you know, I remember that experience and just being like, oh, the temptation. But the Lord was too strong within me. There was no way. And I knew at that time, I was like, if it's going to happen, it's going to be now or it's never going to be. Like, basically, because everything I've been through, I had every single reason at that moment to just say, aha, Ahab, there he is. So let's read Ahab and Jezebel for a quick second. Yeah, so you see, Elijah flees Jezebel. Jezebel was afraid of Elijah was afraid of Jezebel. Ahab told Jezebel. Yeah, listen to this. Oh my gosh, this is Jezebel for you. Oh, this is even better than what I was going to read you guys. This is 1 Kings 19. And Ahab told Jezebel. So Ahab is Jezebel's husband. Notice how she's gone down in history. How many times do people talk about Ahab? That tells you enough, right? Normally, the houses and families are known by the family name of the man, right? Even to this day, surnames and such not. Yeah. But who do we know to this day? More often. There you go. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah, prophet of the Lord, had done, and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. So Elijah had gone and killed all of basically the people on Kingdom of Darkness. It then says, verse 2, then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, this is why we have a period. It's a period of time. We've just shortened, the word period is just shortened for the phrase of period of time of cleaning, spiritual, emotional. Sometimes it's about just taking the time to cry. That's why we do all this stuff. Like, notice how we all turn to doing things that like make us feel better, right? Because that's what we need. We need time to like heal ourselves, to like, release off of things and address them. I believe on a deeper spiritual level, we need time to like, pray extra, because I believe the Lord God is a God of order, which is why there are certain things that happen at certain times. There's the reason why there's a Sabbath, that you do not work, because it is a way that your children will know. Like, even the 7, and I've written a whole thing about this, even the 7 different actual feasts of the Lord, which happen at 7 different times of the year, right? One of which being obviously Passover. God literally said in there, and this is why it's so powerful. God literally says in the Old Testament, he said, and this is what you people should do, these 7 feasts, so that your children for generations will remember what has happened and will remember the Lord their God. Like, if this is a part of your year, if every week on the Sabbath day you guys take time off to spend as a family and to doing whatever you're going to do on the Sabbath, if every 7 parts of the year, of all of the year, you have these various feasts, if every month as a woman you're taking out a week to spend cleaning yourself in a more of a spiritual sense or whatever, right? If you're taking that time to do that, you're never going to forget me, and you're also going to keep yourself in check as a family. It's all about God having an order and a proper good way of doing things. And that's why I'm just like, the mark is missed, and it's like, okay, go off, queen, like go off and do what you want to do, be the Jezebel you want to be. Like, if you're so offended by the Bible, you're so offended by the Lord, you're so offended by God trying to look after you and help you be the best version of yourself, then go ahead. Like, you can go ahead and do that. But let me tell you what happened to Jezebel. Let's find this bit. This is one of my favorite bits of the Bible, the way that Jezebel died. Because I was thinking, when I was reading through this, I was thinking, how is this woman still alive? Like, how is this woman still alive? Like, I was just fuming. The Lord speaks to Elijah. Yeah, because Elijah ran, Elijah ran, and Elijah wanted to take his life. He ran. He got scared. Because she said, listen, may the gods do the same to me if I don't destroy you. But are you dumb? Where is this? Where is Ahab killed in battle? Where is Jezebel was killed? We have to get to this. Oh, it's in the next book of Kings, I guess. No way she made it to the second. No way she made it to 2 Kings. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Let me just... Did she... Oh, for goodness sake. So why am I literally shaking? I've been shaking today. Probably because I haven't eaten anything and oh yeah, it might be here. Probably because I haven't eaten anything, I'm like pouring my heart out for the last hour and a half. All I've had is a cup of tea. Okay, I can't find this. Bear with me. Okay, so she does make it to 2 Kings. So we're now in 2 Kings chapter 9. Ahab died all the way back in 1 Kings 22. And we have a new king called Jehu. I can't believe this, right? Elijah's also no longer with us. We now have Elisha, because Elijah, well, so the Bible says, was taken into the heavens. So let's just read this, okay? So we're in 2 Kings 9, verse 30. When Jehu came to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it. Listen to this. This is the exact reason why I wanted to read this. I wanted to listen to what Jezebel was doing. When Jehu came to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her eyes and adorned her head and looked out of the window. I can't stand her. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, by this part of the Bible, I was raging, like, who is going to end her? That's how I'm feeling now. This is why I have to submit to the Lord, because I need whatever power it is, like whatever power I need. Obviously the power is in Christ, but I'm the vessel. It's the vessel that needs the work, okay? The Spirit is infinite power. And as Jehu entered the gate, she said, "Is it peace, you Zimri, murderer of your master?" And he lifted up his face to the window and said, "Who is on my side? Who?" 2 or 3 eunuchs looked out at him. He said, "Throw her down." So they threw her down. And some of her blood spattered on the wall and on the horses, and they trampled on her. And then he went in and ate and drank, and he said, "See now this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter." But when they went to bury her, they found no more than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. When they came back and told him, he said, "This is the word of the Lord which he spoke by his servant Elijah the Tishbite. In the territory of Jezreel, the dog shall eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the corpse of Jezebel shall be as dung on the face of the field in the territory of Jezreel, so that no one can say, 'This is Jezebel.'" God is my favorite writer. He's like, yeah. And when you go back, if you go back, look, it even has the thingy. Probably tells you where you can find it, even in this Bible, because the Bible's good like that. So, in conclusion, if we do not take the time as women, we will get so caught up in the selfish, conceited, just demonic, manipulative, seductive behavior that we will fall ourselves into ruin, into destruction. So no, the Lord isn't trying to say that you're unclean and you're something in a bad way. He's saying, take some time, do some inner work, right? We're all about inner work and all this stuff. This is inner work. Figure it out, because lest you are doing your makeup in the morning and doing your hair and fluttering your eyelashes just to be completely unrecognizable at the end of the day when the warriors of the Lord show up. And on that note, I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos today. I feel like, because I just haven't been thinking that deeply about anything for like 2 weeks, and now I'm just having like a thought vomit today. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. If life's a game, let's play to win. God bless every single one of you watching my videos. Check out the other ones from today, because trust me, all 3 of them, I don't care. Today I hit the hat trick. Today, stop it, you guys. You don't even. Anyway, guys, let me just go and shine in the glory of the Lord and enjoy my time with the Lord, because he's always there and it's just amazing. It's great over here. If life's a game, play to win.